SkyTeam, one of the world's biggest airline alliances, is about to hit a huge anniversary. But honestly, the celebration comes at a pretty chaotic time. So today, we're going to dive into all the recent turbulence that's reshaping this travel giant, from major airlines jumping on board to others heading for the exit. And I mean, just look at this. The last few years have been a complete whirlwind for SkyTeam. On one hand, they've gained some massive names like Virgin Atlantic and even poached SAS from a rival alliance. But on the other hand, they're losing ITA Airways, and they've already seen CSA shut down. It's this constant revolving door that we're here to unpack.
To really get the impact of all this recent drama, we got to go back to the beginning. What was SkyTeam even for, and how did it get to where it is today?
So on June 22nd, 2025, SkyTeam hits a really major milestone, a full 25 years of connecting the globe. And in the fast-paced world of aviation, where things change in a heartbeat, that is a seriously long time. So what's the big deal with these alliances anyway? Well, for us, the passengers, it means things like seamless booking, sharing frequent flyer perks, and getting lounge access across this huge global network. And way back in 2000, 4 airlines decided to team up to do just that, creating SkyTeam to make world travel a whole lot smoother.
And here are the original trailblazers: Aeromexico, Air France, Delta Airlines, and Korean Air. It's really no surprise that heavyweights like Delta, Air France, and Korean Air are still the core of the alliance today, really forming the backbone of its entire global network.
Okay, now let's get to the heart of the story, what I'm calling the Great Member Reshuffle. Because the last few years have seen some pretty wild changes that have really tested the alliance's stability and its whole strategy.
The pace of change has just been relentless. It really kicked off in 2018 with the huge loss of China Southern. That was a major blow to its presence in Asia. Then Alitalia just stopped flying in 2021, and Aeroflot got suspended in 2022. Now, there have been some wins, for sure, like getting Virgin Atlantic in 2023 and SOS in 2024. But in that very same year, CSA shut down, and now we know that in 2025, ITA Airways is leaving. It has been a real roller coaster. So when you tally it all up, the picture becomes really clear. Between 2018 and 2025, SkyTeam effectively lost 4 carriers: China Southern, Aeroflot, CSA, and Italia Airways. In that same time, it gained 2, SAS and Virgin Atlantic. The bottom line is, despite adding a couple of really strong airlines, they're down a net of 2 members. But amidst all this chaos, there are these incredible stories of resilience. Take the Lebanese carrier, MEA. Its home country has been facing years and years of intense instability and economic crisis. Yet somehow, it's managed to fight through all of that and stay a committed member of SkyTeam. It's pretty remarkable, really.
So with all these airlines coming and going, what does SkyTeam's network and, the passenger experience actually look like today? Where are they strong and where are the gaps starting to show?
Well, with 18 members flying to over 945 destinations, their reach is still huge. Their strongholds are definitely East Asia and Europe. But when you look closer, you see these big holes in their map. They're super weak in South America with just 1 member, and it's the same story in Africa with only 1 airline. And that puts them at a real strategic disadvantage against their rivals.
And it's not just the route map that's been affected. This has hit the passenger experience too. I'm talking about the lounges. SkyTeam used to have 8 of its own branded lounges in major airports. But over the years, half of them have shut down. We're talking places like London Heathrow and Hong Kong. That's right, half of their special lounges are just gone. This all leads us to the final and most important question. What on earth does the future hold for SkyTeam? Let's look at a couple of key situations that are going to define their next chapter.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room, LATAM. This massive South American airline would perfectly fill that huge gap in SkyTeam's network. But it's complicated. You've got SkyTeam's own Delta Airlines owning a 10% stake, pulling them in one direction, but then One World member Qatar Airways also owns 10%, pulling them in the other. It's like a corporate tug-of-war, and the result is a stalemate, which means LATAM is probably going to stay independent for a while. Then you have this other huge deal, the merger between Korean Air and Asiana. Now, on the surface, this looks like a massive win for SkyTeam, right? Asiana is leaving their rival, Star Alliance. But here's the catch. It's not really a gain for SkyTeam. The plan is for the Asiana brand to just be completely swallowed up by Korean Air. So while Star Alliance loses a member, SkyTeam doesn't actually add a new one to its list. And that brings us right back to the big question.
After a full quarter-century of all this turbulence and transformation, with fewer members in a shifting global map, is SkyTeam an alliance that's shrinking? Or are we just watching it evolve into something leaner and maybe more focused for the next 25 years?